Hey guys, welcome in for 30 Books in 30 Weeks. What's going on with everyone? Happy Friday. I'm trying to adjust again. Problem is I can't see it until it actually goes live for whatever reason on my phone. So anyway, we're in the house today. We're actually on the patio today. We're talking about our 30 Books in 30 Weeks, week 21. Hey Helen, we are on Peace from Broken Pieces by Iyanla Vanzant. One of my favorite books, one of my favorite healing tools, a go-to reread. Hey Carlton, I love this book. I love her message. I love her resilience, and I respect her ability to persevere and to keep pushing on despite, seemingly insurmountable obstacles that would have stopped many people many times. Hey Ed, so as you guys come in, feel free, as always, to share the video out, invite some other folks into the conversation. Today we're really going to talk about when all bets are off, your options open up, and what that looks like and what that means. So for those of you who don't know who I am, don't know what this is all about, it's a personal development journey that I started back in November of last year, to share with each of you guys a takeaway and aha, some tools and some tips that I use with my coaching clients to help them experience life unedited, to discover and embrace their star power. So my name is Marcy Batiste. I'm a public speaker, I'm an author, and I am America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. Truly, my goal is to be able to just be the spark that ignites the light for someone else to go for theirs, go for what they want, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a new lease on life, whether it is creating a business, but truly experience life unedited. Stop editing what you do, how you live your life to please everybody else. I think a lot of unhappiness comes from trying to live our lives to please other people, because one thing I've learned to be true, you can't please people. You might be able to please a portion of the people a little bit of the time, but for the most part, someone's always going to be dissatisfied with your choices. And so therefore, you have to live truly for yourself and for your own happiness. And, so I tell my clients all the time, I sold out to my happiness. So I do things that make me happy. I work with people that I like. The joy of having my own business is I don't have to do business with people that I don't like. I was on a call with a prospect the other day, and she was like, wow, I really feel like I'm connected with you, I click with you, and to me, that's what it's all about. It's that connection, that interpersonal connection, and you can't just have that with everybody. And so I tell prospects all the time, like, I might not be the coach for you because I do have a really no-nonsense approach to life and to business and to really selling out to what you say you're going to do. So that's who I am, this personal development journey. I started mine years and years ago, and have been blessed to now be able to take what I learned and turn those into tools for your toolbox to help you experience your life unedited. So today's conversation is about when all bets are off, your options open up. What's that mean, when all bets are off? Basically, I think we all come to a place in our lives, our relationships, our business endeavors, our career paths, whatever the case may be, where we're just at a place where enough is enough. You can't take anymore. You're not happy. You're not fulfilled. You feel emotionally bankrupt. Your spirit is not aligned properly. You're not motivated. You're not inspired. And that's when all bets are off. Basically, all bets off mean you have nothing else to lose. Like, it's probably as bad as it's going to get in its current situation. There's definitely not an improvement to be made without significant changes. And that's the piece right there. It's significant changes have to be made. So all bets are off in current situation doesn't mean you have to abandon the situation or the relationship or the career path or any of that. But it does mean you have to make significant changes if you want to see significant results and experience happiness again and joy again and fulfillment again, or maybe for the first time. You know, I know for me, for many years, my story was I let life happen to me. I didn't go out and pursue life. And so I gave up dreams of being an internationally traveled journalist and, you know, a lot of other career endeavors as far as my college experiences and things like that. And I allowed life to happen. So I had a family and got married and, you know, did some things that was in line with what I thought the expectation of me was based on my upbringing. And they weren't in line with what would fulfill me, what made me happy, what made me feel excited and motivated and inspired. And so because I lived my life that way for so long, it manifested in an eating disorder, being overweight, almost 400 pounds, being miserable, low self-esteem, a whole host of other problems because I wasn't willing to live life for me. I was living for everyone else. I was living for my community. I was living for my family. I was living for my spouse's happiness and my kids' happiness and my career and all of those things, but I wasn't living for what my heart and soul really wanted most, which was to be free, to write, to experience, to meet people, and to share stories. And so now that's exactly what I do. I travel, I meet people, I talk to people, I listen to stories, I write books, and now I feel fulfilled. But it took me 40 years to figure that out, 40 years to figure that out. And so much of my teaching with my clients is don't do what I did. Don't wait until you're in your 40s to get it together. But if you're in your 40s and you're ready to get it together, I have the tools that can help you do it. Let me see this comment. Thank you, Carlton. Thank you so much. I'm all like, y'all can see I am blind. My eyes are really bothering me. They're really dry. I probably should go inside. I think it might be allergies. But, you know, just that when all bets are off, and that for me was that point, was 15, 16 years ago. I was miserably married. I was in a career that was very successful, very lucrative. I enjoyed my job and my career, but on a personal level, I was unfulfilled, I was dissatisfied, I was unhappy, and I was almost 400 pounds because of that. I turned to food and other unhealthy habits that did not serve me well. As far as from a wellness perspective, they served me well financially, but not from a wellness perspective. So when all bets are off and your options open up, so I share all that to say, you know, even from my personal experience of having felt like I had given up my dream, I was able to reclaim so much of my power, and I was able to reclaim so much of the dream. It just looks different. So I still am able to travel. I'm still able to meet people. You know, able to be a speaker now and to share my story, to share other people's stories, and even beyond that, something far greater than I ever thought possible is to be able to teach other people how to create and share their stories. You know, one of the things I talk to my clients about is about you can't change your history, but you can create a now story that you love to live, and that's far more powerful in my mind. Because history happened. It is what it is. But it's what you take away from that and how you create a new now story that is going to serve you. Create the now story that will serve you. When we talk about making peace from broken pieces, that's what that's about. It's about your now story. It's not about where you've been. It's about where you're going. It's about how are you going to get there. It's about are you willing to sell out to the process. Because it's not an overnight thing. It's not an overnight success. It's not... I think I was watching an interview with, I can't remember if it was James Brown. No, it was Charlie Wilson. And he said I was an overnight sensation that was 20 years in the making. That's what he said, an overnight sensation that was 20 years in the making. And that's what a lot of us don't realize. You know, you see people out there succeeding and living their dreams and doing these great things, and they've made peace from the broken pieces, because all of us have broken pieces. All of us have histories that we're not necessarily proud of. We all have, that crazy uncle, the crazy cousin, the family members that you're not inviting to your award ceremonies when you're recognized for things. We all have that. But it's not about the history, it's about the now story and creating the now story for the life that you love to live. You don't have to live tied to the negativity of certain things from your past. And those are the broken pieces. In my book, Love Miscarriage, I talk about recovering the broken pieces of your heart when love dies too soon. It's the same thing. Sometimes you got to let the broken pieces lie where they lie. They're not ever intended to be reconstructed. They were destroyed and broken down for a reason. They don't serve your soul. They don't serve your future. They don't serve your happiness. And you have to move on. And one of the things that I learned and I share in Love Miscarriage was that for me, I realized that in certain times, in certain relationships, it has to be broken down so far and into so many billions of pieces that they can't possibly be reconstructed to keep me from trying to put shit back together again. Like, I was one of those people that would fight for stuff I didn't even really want because I hated to lose. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. You'll never find peace in those broken pieces if you're trying to put stuff back together that's never meant to be reconstructed. You have to say, all bets are off. What options do I have? And be willing to go for yours. I had a conversation yesterday with a really good friend of mine, and he was sharing with me some things that he's going through and how he's just like, I'm ready to make some changes, and I feel like I can't go one more day without making changes. That's that all bets are off moment. That's when it doesn't matter what else is going on. Your soul knows, like, I cannot find happiness with things existing the way they are. I have to make a change. I have to move on. Hey, Zelia, I have to push on. I have to persevere. I have to look for other options. And those options can be scary, you guys. I am not even kidding. They can be so scary. They can be so intimidating. But when all bets are off and all options open up, you realize this stuff opened up for a reason. This is the key. Somewhere in there is the key to my happiness. Somewhere in there is my life enrichment. Somewhere in there is my fulfillment. Somewhere in there is my happiness. Somewhere in there is the love that I've always been looking for. Somewhere in there, I'm going to find that missing piece to give me the peace that my soul is searching for. But digging the broken pieces isn't going to do it. It's not going to do it. You have to literally get to that place where you say, all bets off. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to sacrifice potentially. I could lose big. Sometimes those are the moments where you're just like, I really could lose big, but my soul won't let me sleep. My soul won't let me rest. My soul won't give me peace until I pursue something different. I know that I can't be happy, fulfilled, enriched, whatever the case may be, with the status quo. When all bets are off and all options, that's when all options open up. As long as you are still trying to hold on to little pieces of the past, or little pieces of, let's say it's a relationship that, I've been there, done that. You're highly invested in these relationships, these personal relationships, these business relationships, these friendships, family ships, all of that. We get so invested in them that we don't want to let it go, because it's like, keep telling ourselves, oh, we can fix it, we can fix it, we can fix it, we can fix it, we can make it better if I do this, if I do that. No, sometimes when all bets are off and all options open up, one of the options is to let it go. And you have to be willing to drop the keys on the counter and walk out the door without looking back, and realize that somewhere in those options, happiness is there. I just gotta go find it. But as long as I stay here, seated, planted in this space, I'm not gonna find it. I'm not ever gonna experience life unedited if I stay where I'm at, if I stay in my present situation, if I settle for the status quo. And I was telling my friend how much I admire his courage for getting to that place and being able to act on it. That it is, not many people will take that step. Not many people will take that leap. And so to come to the place where you're ready to have some difficult conversations with people that you care about, and take that risk. All bets are off. Take the risk. Jump, leap, whatever the case may be. But just do it. You're not going to find the enrichment, the fulfillment, the satisfaction that you've been desiring unless you're willing to take the leap. For me, that meant leaving Iowa, leaving marriage, and leaving Iowa and leaving my marriage also meant my kids were in high school at the time. That meant leaving my babies in another state, moving to Arizona where I'd never ever even visited before. But I took that leap because I knew if I stayed in that place, if I stayed where I was, status quo, I was never going to find fulfillment. I was never going to be feeling like I was living my best life. I was never going to feel like I was amounting to anything or that I was changing anyone. And so now, I know that the work that I do now, I change lives. And if I change a life, I'm changing the world. I'm reconstructing I'm constructing a new history for someone by helping them create their new now story. And that to me is enriching. That to me is fulfilling. Helping women discover and embrace their star power. That to me is fulfilling. That's enriching. That lights my life. That lights my spark. That reignites me. It motivates me. It allows me to experience life unedited. Watching the light bulbs come on. Watching the excitement. Oh my God, I just tried this and it worked. Yeah, it worked because all bets were off and you were willing to leap. So that's my message for today. The book will run for 30 books in 30 weeks. It's Peace from Broken Pieces. And that's just a glimpse of how you find it. When all bets are off, all options open up, you got to be willing to make the leap and make some changes. Have a great weekend, y'all. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for living life on Mars. I'm out of here.